A wall of thunder shakes the earth, but it is not the storm. It is the pounding of colossal feet across the ancient plains, the tremor of mammoths moving like living mountains. Their tusks slice the air like ivory scythes, their bulk casting shadows long enough to swallow entire valleys. And there, fragile against the immensity, stands a band of early humans. No machines, no weapons forged of steel, only sharpened stone, fire-hardened spears, and the unyielding will to survive. How do you bring down a beast 10 times your size? How does flesh and fear dare to challenge bone and power? And what would it mean in a world without engines, without cranes, without bullets to succeed or to fail? The hunters move in silence, their breath steaming in the dawn. One raises his arm, a signal ancient yet timeless, commanding the group to spread wide. They are shadows on the wind, circling, closing in hearts, pounding like drums that match the beat of the mammoth herd. Every gesture is survival. Every glance is a pact. One mistake, one sound too loud,
Grunt.
and the earth itself would trample them beneath tusks and thunder. Still, they press forward, guided not by certainty, but by necessity. Hunger has gnawed their bellies for days. Fire alone cannot fill the void. It is meat they need. It is survival they seek. The mammoths snort ears, flaring eyes, scanning the horizon. The hunters freeze. For a moment, time fractures the ancient dance between predator and prey, balanced on a knife's edge. Then a calf stumbles. Weakness. Vulnerability. The herd shifts to protect, forming a wall of bodies, but the hunters have seen enough. The leader signals again. The strategy is simple, but perilous. Separate, isolate, and attack. They lunge forward, with cries torn from their throats, spears raised high stones whistling through the air. The mammoths roar in defiance, and the ground becomes a battlefield between human desperation and nature's colossal guardians. One hunter is nearly crushed as a tusk sweeps past him, splintering a tree like a fragile twig. He dives aside, rolling into the mud, rising with eyes wild, face streaked with blood and determination. Another leaps forward, thrusting his spear into thick hide, the shaft vibrating as it pierces, but not deep enough. The beast bellows, shaking its massive head, flinging the weapon aside. And yet every wound counts. Every strike is not just an attack, but a message. Humanity will not starve quietly. As the chaos unfolds, smoke drifts across the plain. Other hunters have prepared fires, small and controlled torches lit to herd the beasts, to funnel them toward a ravine where escape narrows. Fire becomes their weapon, their machine of the primitive world. The mammoths reel their trumpeting cries, echoing against stone walls as they find themselves trapped. The hunters tighten their circle spears, raised eyes burning with a mixture of fear, reverence, and hunger. The mammoth fight has only begun. The clash between fragile humanity and towering mammoths swells into a storm of dust smoke and cries that echo through the valley. Spears jab, torches flare, and every muscle strains against the inevitability of failure. The mammoths surge, pressing forward with sheer force, their tusks gleaming with shards of firelight. The hunters scatter, regroup, and strike again, each movement synchronized by instinct and the memory of countless failed attempts. This is no single battle. It is the culmination of generations of trial, error, and sacrifice knowledge passed down, not with words, but with scars. They know where to strike beneath the ribs, behind the leg, in the soft curve of the belly. They know that victory demands patience, measured in blood, and endurance measured in heartbeats. The lead mammoth thrashes, trunk lashing like a whip, sending one hunter sprawling across the dirt. For a moment, Death looms a shadow heavy and certain, but another leaps to distract, drawing the beast's fury away, offering his own life, so that the group's mission may live. It is not bravery for glory. It is the law of survival. One body against one colossus. One sacrifice for many mouths. The herd trumpets in anguish, forming a wall around the wounded, their eyes flashing with primal fire. Yet the hunters press on, driving the giants backward, step by step, using flame as their ally, the crackle of burning grass as their shield. Finally, the great beast staggers. Its knees tremble, tusks scrape the earth, and its trumpeting cry fades into a hollow bellow that shakes the bones of the hunters themselves. Silence ripples across the battlefield. The hunters advance slowly, reverently, their spears angled down as if bowing before a fallen god. Then, with a final surge of energy, the beast collapses. Dust rises in a golden cloud, and the earth quakes one last time. Victory. Not triumphant, not jubilant, but heavy with the weight of survival. The hunters gather, breathing hard, bodies trembling, not with celebration, but with relief. They touch the fallen mammoth's hide not as conquerors, but as children who have survived another test of nature's trial. The kill means life. The tribe will eat. The marrow of bones will nourish. The hide will shield against cold. The tusks will be carved into tools. Nothing is wasted because everything is survival. Around the carcass, the hunters raise their torches high, their shadows stretching long across the grass like giants themselves. They have no engines, no steel cranes, no roaring machines of the future. Yet they have achieved what would daunt even modern machines, bringing down the immovable, with only willfire and sharpened stone. Cut to modernity, machines of steel and gears rise on construction sites, claws of iron, digging earth with precision and force. Bulldozers push aside forests where mammoths once roamed. Excavators lift tons of rock in seconds. Here survival is measured not in spears and fire, but in engines, fuel, and electricity. Men sit in cabins behind glass steering levers with hands untouched by blood, untouched by fear. The battle for survival has shifted, no longer between flesh and beast, but between humanity and the earth itself. The rhythm is different, but the question remains the same. Who truly controls survival, the creature, the human, or the machine? Engines roar as the modern landscape unfolds a symphony of steel and fire, replacing the echoes of tusks and trumpets. Skyscrapers climb where mammoths once thundered, each floor lifted not by bare hands but by hydraulic cranes and electric motors. Trucks carry tons of stone. In a single load, machines carve tunnels through mountains, and factories roar with ceaseless hunger, devouring fuel to build, to expand, to conquer. The machine has become humanity's new spear, our torch against the void, our answer to the impossible. And yet the cost is hidden in the smoke rising against the sky, in the rivers choked with waste, in the silence where herds once roamed. Where ancient hunters risked their lives to honor the beast that gave them food, the machine consumes without pause, without reverence, blind to consequence. The contrast is stark. In the ancient plain, one mammoth fell, and an entire tribe lived another season. In the modern world, forests fall by the thousands, oceans are dredged, and mountains are leveled in a war not against survival, but against limits. Machines have given us power beyond imagination, but with that power, the rhythm of survival has shifted into something fragile, precarious, and uncertain. The hunters of old risked everything for a single meal. The engineers of today risk the balance of the entire planet for progress. Both faced giants, one made of flesh and bone, the other of steel and greed. Yet the essence remains unchanged. Humanity has always stood at the edge of challenge, armed with nothing but its will to endure. The mammoth was not merely prey, it was a mirror forcing early humans to test their strength, their unity, their courage. The machine is no different. It too reflects us, magnifying our ingenuity, but also our hunger, our recklessness, our inability to stop once the path forward is lit. Where once the fire drove mammoths into a ravine, now it fuels engines that reshape the earth itself. The question that haunted our ancestors still lingers. At what cost does survival transform into destruction? The camera pulls back from the ancient plain, mammoths fading into shadows, hunters fading into dust. It shifts forward to skylines glowing with neon, to bulldozers gnashing at soil, to assembly lines glowing red-hot with molten steel. Humanity's journey is not a tale of leaving the past behind, but of carrying its lessons forward. The hunters with stone spears and the operators in steel machines are bound by the same truth. Survival is never free. It demands sacrifice, whether in sweat, in blood, or in the silent erosion of the world itself. As night falls, torches flicker in the memory of the ancient hunt, while the hum of machines glows across the modern cityscape. One story, two eras, the same pulse. The unending dance between fragility and power, between reverence and conquest. Humanity forever caught between the shadow of the mammoth and the roar of the machine.